name is Tania, and welcome to this week's video. Today we are going to be building a watercolor palette, and when I say building, I'm just going to be adding all of the colors from my paints onto my palette. I have a lot of leftover paints from my college days, so it's been a couple years from whenever I took a watercolor class. And I actually have a lot of paints left over from my older brother's college days that he actually gave to me. So I figured I would combine all of these colors into my palette and then swatch them for you guys so we can see what they look like and kind of see what I'm working with, the materials that I will be working with in future watercoloring videos. But we are now going to be facing my work table here and putting this all together. I hope that you enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe for more ASMR videos. Okay, let's get started. So this is the palette that I have, and then this is my box of collective watercolor paints. And this clear part right here actually comes off so that you can store things like brushes and paints in here. So it has a top on it so that if you want to take it anywhere, then you can. However, I do not watercolor on the go, so I'm going to be adding colors not only in my little wells right here, but all along the edges wherever the colors from over here fit into this color range over here. So I've already separated my colors into different groups all over my work table, and yeah, these Winsor & Newton ones, which is a good brand, but they're a little bit on the expensive side. At my school art store, this was $3.50 a tube. You can see I did use the majority of this one while in school. So what I'm going to do is empty the rest of this guy in here, because I know for a fact that this is the same red that I used in school. Since there's barely any left, you never want to use the entire tube. Don't just empty the entire thing in one go. You always want to add it slowly to your palette. And though these are very good paints, the Winsor & Newton ones, I've always had a disliking for anything in a metal tube. Mainly for the fact that it's a little bit hard on your hands. Say if you have arthritis, or if you have carpal tunnel, or just not strong at all. It's a little difficult to squeeze the paint out of the tube, especially when trying to be careful and not spill it anywhere, and not make a mess or waste any or get any on your hands or anything like that. This one was also another one that I had gotten from my school, $3.50 a tube. These are tiny little things too. It's only 0.27 fluid ounces. This is raw sienna. So something that I actually learned a semester or two after my watercolor class is that your expensive watercolors, these things, or some of them, or all of them, or a good number of them, are actually made from natural things that you can find. out there in the world, which means that they can actually go bad. And he told me this bit of information because it was after I dipped in this palette and noticed little fuzzy things growing inside. Yes, little fungus growing inside my my paint palette, that he told me that some of these things are actually, can be found out there, which is why they can go bad. And this is why we clean out our materials. Let's see, this guy has dried up completely. I've actually been going on this very big spring cleaning kick. It's technically fall right now, but I've been going on this very big spring cleaning kick and cleaning out a whole bunch of things, which makes me really happy. I love spring cleaning. And let's see, this one's actually brand new. The foil has not been broken, and I'm actually not going to break the foil at the moment, but the way to do this is to take your cap, which has this little pointy bit in here, and you just puncture through the foil, and it's ready to use. I'm not going to do that one, however, because I want to save it just in case. Most people would just keep their paint inside the wells, however, I don't really want to do that. See, this one might be brand new as well. Yep, some of these have never even been used. And these ones I think might be some of the cheaper ones. Yep, that one's brand new as well. Getting into my darker browns on this side. This is another Winsor Newton one. That is $3.50 a tube. I think that's the same color. It's a little hard to tell. I know that you can't tell from where y'all are right now, but nestled in some of these paints is a little bit of honeybee's fur. Just part of the Ooh, this one is actually a gouache. I'm going to set this one aside and pick out all the other gouaches in here. Because for those who don't know what gouache is, it's like a watercolor where you add water to kind of mix it up. But it's much thicker. The paint is so much more opaque than watercolor. So I'm going to gather up my gouache ones over here and put them off to the side with my gouache collection. Remember, if you ever have any trouble opening a tube of paint, please do not use your teeth. Work smarter. Minky. Remember, work smarter, not harder. Don't hurt your hands or anything like that. You can just take a pair of needle nose pliers to twist open the tube. Ooh, wow, this one's leaking all over the place. Look at that. Huh, that's probably why it got stuck, because it looks like it might have separated or something like that. Now I have a burnt sienna all over my hands. Oh my. Looks like this guy is going to have the same exact reaction. So I'm just going to put that one off to the side and not make a mess today. Let's see, we we have another burnt umber. Let's see, let me put this one. Oh, this one might be dried up as well. That's okay. Some of these were given to me by my brother. Oh, no, we got some out. Lucky day. Huh, that's a very interesting cap. Like, it just comes off like this. You don't have to screw it on or anything. This one's by Reeves. Some of these other ones are Royal Langnickel. Some of them are Winsor Newton. Okay, let's see what we have here. We have Vermilion, which is like super bright orange. Let's see if this one hasn't been broken yet. This is the Royal Langnickel one. This one is Grumbacher. $2.65 a tube. Oh, this looks like it'd be one of the leaky ones. Just gonna... Here we go. Oh wow, that's super bright. You know, I know that some of these watercolors can be expensive, especially the Grumbacher and the Winsor Newton. The Reeves might be a little bit on the less expensive side. I'm not too sure. These Royal Langnickel ones look like they might have come in a set. And getting these ones, you know, we're building a watercolor palette in this sort of manner, you know, with individual tubes of paint, is completely optional. For the longest time, I worked with pre-made palettes, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I love my pre-made palettes. There's so many shades of pink, and there's so many shades of blue in there, and I love using that one. That one's one of my favorites. Oh. That one is all dried up. So we have another Winsor Newton one here. Something else that you could also do is slowly build a palette. Anytime you can afford a new tube of paint, you know, buy something new to build your palette up if you really love working with watercolors. And if you decide to do that, you can start with the basics. Get your primary colors: red, blue, yellow, and you can I would also suggest getting a black, gray, white, and browns. You could start with a dark brown, a burnt umber, or a burnt sienna, and then slowly build up your colors, get different types of reds, get different types of yellows. So now I'm going to move on to greens, and I'm going to put away these Royal Langnickel ones that have not been opened yet. Nope. feeling that these are the ones that would come in a big kit together. Here's a Grumbacher one at $3.50 a tube. This is a little difficult. There we go. That looks like the same color as that. I believe it is. Of course, when you're in school, your professors are always going to tell you to get the best, expensive, high-quality items because technically they are better that way. Here's a Winsor Newton at $3.50 a tube. And these were the art store prices, which again aren't very cheap. You could find cheaper prices at a much larger store. Those look like those might be the same. Oops. It's hard to tell. I'm going to put this guy in here. This one might be dried up. I actually love cleaning out stuff, getting rid of things that I know that I don't need anymore. It's so refreshing, honestly. Nope, this one's all dried up too. Yeah, the majority of the ones that are dried up are these Reeves ones, but those might be very old. Some of those were from my brother's school days. I was actually an art major, and he had art as a minor, and we went to the same school and actually had a couple of the same professors. Which I think is funny because he would actually, or I actually had a painting teacher who recognized my last name because he had my brother previously. So I thought that was a funny coincidence. We have another Grumbacher here at $3.50 a tube. This is a cerulean blue hue. It's a very light blue color, actually. There's barely anything left in this one, so I'm going to completely empty what is left in this pot over here. And if you ever do that and you have hard time, you can use your pliers to squeeze out what is left. Cerulean blue hue, $2.85. Looks like the prices were marked up. Let's see. Oh, that one hasn't been broken yet. Okay, let's see if this guy is dried up. This one's dried up. I'm able to recognize a few now. See, this one's Payne's Gray. See, this guy looks like ultramarine, which I have a feeling is this one here. Oops. This guy looks like it's stuck too. This is another Winsor Newton. The 0.27 fluid ounces or 8 milliliters. Ooh, we're already coming out. Here we go, here we go. A little bit more than what I intended, but you know what? It's okay. I'm honestly okay with that because I watercolor all the time. If only I could get this little cat back on. I don't want it to dry out inside the tube. Well, hopefully it won't. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Ultramarine blue. This looks like the same as that other one. Rumboka. Let's see. Ooh, that one's a little difficult to open. Ultramarine. Yep, that's gonna be that same dark one. We also have violet. Let's see, this is the only purple I have, so I'm going to break the seal. This is exactly how you would do this. Just like that. And now that it's open, I can add my purple in there. So I don't know if you could tell, but whenever this came out of the tube, it was a little, it wasn't as thick as, say, this one, or this one, this ultramarine, or this cerulean hue, blue hue. And this is a cheaper brand, and these were the more expensive ones. But of course we're going to swatch everything later, see how everything looks, so we can see what the quality looks like with each one. Oh, there we go. This guy might be dried up. I have a feeling it is. In a surprising turn of events, it is liquidated. Look at that. It kind of looks like a tea. And this one's supposed to be black. Oh man, that was hilarious. You know what? I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it anyway. As all the kids say these days, YOLO? Okay, this is another Payne's Gray. Let's see what color this guy is. Oh, that's white. Okay. So, looks like I have just one black at the moment. Okay, so here's white. This is squash. Oh, this one's dried up. This one probably, nope, that one's not open yet. So this is the only white that I have that's open right now, so we are just going to put this guy in this little corner right here, all by itself. Okay, so now we have our palette built with all of our beautiful colors. So many yellows. I have so much yellow. And we are now going to swatch all of these. Really pretty. I'm just dipping into each of these colors. And you know, there's something interesting too, is that different brands may have the same exact name for a color, but it'll produce a completely different hue or completely different tints and shades. So these may all be crimson red, but this one looks more pink, this one looks more orange, this one looks much darker. Not too sure what this one is. It looks very similar to that one. That one was already in one of the pots. I think this one might be one of the siennas. Ooh, too much paint. Not enough water. There we go. That's much nicer. I like this brown. I like browns like this. Though I may be a little biased on that because it reminds me of my hair color. This is the vermilion. Wow, which looks so bright. That's gonna be more on like the orange side. That's very interesting. This kind of looks like a goldeny color in the palette. Yeah, that's very nice. Then I had a random green next to those ones. Then we get into the yellows now. I think I got too much. Oh yeah, a little too much on that one. That's okay. We're just testing out colors. I actually really like doing color swatches. And I love looking at color swatches too, like on people's sketchbooks. See how they do them, or how organized, or in what sort of order. Ooh, that's very pretty. Now this one actually looks very dark inside my palette. This bright green color. That one's very pretty. There we go. Now we're getting into the blues. This is the cerulean blue hue. This is the ultramarine blue. Got violet. I do have to say this was I believe this is one of the cheaper brands. Cheaper brands pick up easier, which may not necessarily be like a good thing. This is our black. This is the Payne's gray, which you can see is a very cool tone gray. I think that's beautiful. So, just for a little bit of fun, I'm going to grab up that little bit that looked like tea, which very much so does have a very tea color. And the very last bit is white. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. My watercoloring teacher, back during my college school days, told me that white is pretty much used for extra little details that you may want to add on top of your painting after you've finished everything else. So that's what white is mainly used for. Yeah, I've never really used a bamboo brush before, but I quite enjoyed it. It does need to be a bit prepared though, because yeah, it's falling out, so that can just be fixed with a little bit of glue. But whenever you clean your brushes, you never want to dip it in the water past this part, because that's where the glue is. So all your paint water and paint will slowly dissolve the glue over time and loosen the hairs to where the hairs fall out, as well as make the entire bit come out. So that goes for paint brushes, makeup brushes, all of that. So now we have a very nice variety of colors here, which I'm very, very excited to use, and I can't wait to start painting again. And I think it's about time to clean up our mess here. So, my little sleepy time jellies, I hope that you enjoyed seeing me build my watercolor palette. I can't wait to start painting again and showing you guys my drawings and paintings, and going through the whole process with you guys. And a couple of things that I really would like to do for this channel is definitely do more fan art. There's this challenge that I've heard, an alphabet challenge of drawing your favorite character for each letter of the alphabet. So I think that would be so much fun to do. I think it would be a lot of fun to do an animal alphabet challenge, so that I can do come up with original ideas, as well as do more fan art. And I also have a huge list of things that I want to draw, so I definitely have a lot of ideas of my own. However, I would love to hear what you guys, what art, what character, what theme, time period, something. What do you guys want to see me draw or paint on this channel? I would love to hear your suggestions if you would leave them in the comments below. I hope that all of y'all are having a wonderful evening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, good night, little jellies, and sweet dreams. Bye!